Alright, hey there everybody. I'll just adjust a little bit more. There we go. Hey everybody. Last day of February here. Gonna get started on pickups videos a little bit more than there has been, I feel like, the last couple months. There was actually some good deals to be had and some stuff came out that I've been waiting on. So let's get into it. We're gonna start with Switch games. I got 6 actually in here. I'm gonna start with this big box, the Plucky Squire. Deluxe editions from Devolver Digital. It's by All Possible Futures. This is just a cool looking game with like a mix of like a hand drawn art style and 3D art style because it's from like a character in a book that like jumps out of the book and goes back into the books and goes around the room. Sort of like the vibe you get from like Smash Brothers, where it's all like happening in like a kid's room or a teenager's room or something like that. Looks great. I just got it the other day. Haven't played it yet, but very indie heavy game, getting a good physical release. I wanted to go with the deluxe edition because it's definitely a game where, like a big art book seemed like it was going to be really good. There's like 100+ page art book in here, and the art style being one of the things that really grabbed me. Makes sense, and it was only like $50 because it's still an indie game. So I think it launched for like 35 on the non-deluxe version. We've got some other Switch games that aren't in big fancy boxes. Starting with Monster Hunter Rise. Actually, today is funny because Monster Hunter Wilds comes out today, and everybody's like really excited about that. But what I was looking at this for, is I have not really been able to get into Monster Hunter, but I've got a bunch of the games because they've been Nintendo exclusives from a big third-party company. So obviously it's not like I bought this day one or anything like that. I paid like $12 for this because it sold well. So that's always good. And the thing that made me finally pull the trigger and get this was that the DLC, this game and the DLC were on like a really heavy sale on the eShop. So I was like looking to see like what would it cost to get the physical that comes with the DLC but only comes on a code anyway, and it was like way more than paying for like this plus the DLC or buying both of them digital. So I bought the DLC as if I'm gonna like play it so much that I'm gonna put all those hours into it. But still, just a nice concept to have it. It was like $10 for the DLC, so like $22 for the full package of a Nintendo exclusive that's been really important for them. I do enjoy that Monster Hunter basically runs simultaneous like exclusivity for Nintendo and non-Nintendo, or like for Nintendo and PlayStation. I want to say Wilds is on both PlayStation and Xbox, but I don't follow the series very much, at least not at the time, so I'm not even sure if it's PlayStation exclusive or not for the other systems. But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise. And another one that starts with the word monster. This is probably one of the goofiest looking games that I'd ever seen. When I remember when this was announced on limited run, I was just like, what is this like? Every game just getting thrown at the wall to get like limited run releases. Turns out this game, Monster Train First Class, which is like one of the goofiest names that I've ever heard. It's a deck builder. It's supposed to be really good. I ended up seeing a lot of really high praise for this when I was going through VGP, the game sales website from like Japan, not Japan, Canada, the other one. VGP based in Canada. So I think I missed tariffs and stuff on that. If there's import taxes and whatnot. But yeah, this was going for like $20 even because they had overstock of like limited run stuff. And I was looking it up, and it actually has like really high praise as a deck builder. So I ended up grabbing that with a couple of other, at least one other thing that I have here. So that sounds pretty cool. I mean, roguelike deck builder, not like we need more of those, but like it's supposed to be pretty good. And next, another one I got from VGP. This is Unsold. This is a Red Art Games published title. It's got like an isometric look. And what was the thing? Yeah, you absorb the souls of the dead. Is what it says on the back. It did look pretty cool and also had really good reviews. So I don't have a whole lot to say about that, but it was good actiony. Sort of like an isometric dungeon crawler looking one, like a Diablo with a cool gimmick. So definitely tried that out, and these two go together because I caught up on VGNY Soft's numbered releases. This is 7 and 8. We have Risk System and Overdriven Evolution, and what do you know? They're both shoot 'em ups. The last person who should be complaining if you get a lot of shoot 'em ups, but like seriously, why can't they just pick a different genre? At this point, the only thing that's keeping me buying these games is to keep having a full set while I work at a video game store. So, being back at a video game store again, I was like, hey, we have this wholesaler that carries these games, can I pick these up? Even though we're not necessarily carrying them. And part of the reason we're not carrying them is because they're all fucking shoot 'em ups. Like, people can't really tell the difference. So yeah, I don't even really have a whole lot to say about it. I just like, for the sake of keeping this set up and having more shoot 'em ups to try. Give me another Yuppie Psycho, please. Or another Wallachia. And I got a couple here. So this one, and not so much with another one, but I was watching a new YouTuber that I've got a lot of content to just put on in the background, but a fella named Jason Graves did a full Madden series retrospective, which, guys like Soft Drink TV, like he's really great too for stuff like that, but it was a good video going through, like, at literally every Madden title, like every what you consider a unique version of every Madden title, and I had forgotten about this one. I was like, I would have picked up for, like, GameCube or something like that way back if I had considered Madden 05 to be one that I felt like I really needed to have. Like, 04 definitely. 04, 06, and 08 were, like, big for me. 04 because obviously it's, like, the really fast, overpowered offense stuff that was just really exciting with, like, Vic. 06 with the Vision Cone, just to have that, like, one weird gimmick. 08 being the last GameCube game to be released. In 05 I hadn't really thought about, except that I had this collector's edition as a kid as well. We ended up going for this version. And I forgot how much stuff is on this. That's all I really wanted for was, like, is this a collector's edition that's actually worth having? It's like, okay, you actually get technically 4 playable versions of Madden 05 because you get like a SNES version, or SNES or Genesis version with the Madden 05 rosters in it. But you get, so like a 16-bit version, you get a PlayStation version, and you also get like the PlayStation version of like Madden 05 basically. So you get the PS1 and PS2 version of that game. So yeah, essentially you get three additional versions of Madden 2005 to play in the various styles. You get more moments, more playoff teams, and you get the trivia game. So 2005 football trivia, I'm not going to be quite as good at, but got the slipcover on this one. So just a really nice package. I was like, you know what, I should have that. I paid like $6 for it. So like, why don't I have that one? It's got all that stuff on it. This one, moving on to GameCube, was a long time coming because I could never really make myself buy a game that I'm not even going to have the ability to play for the most part, but just to have a Zelda game that I didn't have. Technically a main series game, Zelda 4 Swords Adventures for the GameCube. I got this for like $50, which was like way more stomachable than like the $80, $90 that I felt like I'd almost pulled the trigger on before. So with all the Zelda content that I watch too, I do hear a lot about 4 Swords Adventures. It's not as full, like, robust story-wise, and the gameplay is different and all that, but a nice complete, not big box with the not the microphone, the not big box with the advanced to GameCube cable, but just a complete of the DVD case for like $50, pretty good. So glad to finally have that one, not like tempt me with like a $70 or $80 copy. I found that on eBay for like $50. And then we got 18-wheel American Pro Trucker. This is of course a Sega arcade game that got ported to the Dreamcast, so like slightly more appealing if it was a Dreamcast version, but still on the GameCube. Like, these are the two places. I think it got a PS2 port as well, but I remember seeing this a lot. The port was actually done by Acclaim, which is weird. Still around, but yeah, just knowing who made it and that it was actually a pretty big arcade release for them. 18-wheel Pro American Trucker doesn't sound like a game that I would be interested in, but Sega, just like they do with fishing, like a fishing game or a rally game, like these like very late era console Sega games, like right right from the end of the Dreamcast era, right before they got out of consoles. Like, a lot of fun stuff that gets me into games I wouldn't be into genre-wise. But their style is, like, something I can enjoy. Now we've got... Speaking of Sega, I'll just do this one Genesis game and get it out of the way. There's another sports title, but this is it's only MLB PA, or is it? Yeah, just MLB PA. Sports Talk Baseball. Which, not like the most exciting and not like the most like, oh, this is the gameplay that you want for like a Genesis baseball game, but I do always take an interest when people talk about like advancements that like were really, really huge for the time. So the voice synthesis, it's probably not the most exciting thing that you're going to get nowadays to look back on, but the voice synthesis in this was actually a huge, huge deal. So I've always wanted to kind of have this in the collection to be like, oh yeah, that first one, like this and the football one with like like commentary, like in a 16-bit game with like full commentary is like really crazy to think about. So I paid like $7 for that. So I always wanted to knock that off the list. 2 Game Boy Advance games, both just weird ones. First is Tekken Advance. I did give this a try. I was always very interested in how they pulled this off. Really crazy good like sprite work versions of all the characters and everything. It is the slowest Tekken game you'll ever play. That's for sure. But pretty well done for what it is. It's not easy to port a fighting game onto a Game Boy Advance, even though, there are a few that did it really well. Like there's a Street Fighter, there's a Guilty Gear. I think there's a King of Fighters, I want to say, on the Advance. There's some kind of SNK one, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, this comes out pretty well. Very unique, novel thing that I was interested in getting. And then this other one that I've been holding in my hand, Lilo and Stitch 2, Hamsterviel Havoc. Just always knew I was going to pick this up if I came across it again, because this is like a run and gun. Just a weird, like, I think it's kind of 2 games. It's more like an action platformer, like you'd expect it to be. But, like, the Stitch versions are, like, the Stitch levels are, like, Contra-like run and guns. It's pretty wild. So, yeah, not an expensive game. Just wanted to pick that up. I knew I would when I saw it again. This actually had nothing to do with watching that Madden video like 2005 did, but there does happen to be another Madden in here. This is just the funky collector's edition for EA Sports on the PlayStation. So, with the slipcover and everything, I think you could still get these sealed for like 20, but even 20 I wouldn't spend it on. I got this for like $10 with the NBA Live, Madden, and NASCAR 2002 on the PS1 from this era right after the PS2 came out, where to get I feel like it was to get more games to sell on the way out for the PS1, which still had like 2 years of games left. Mostly EA Sports and like budget titles, but getting these like 3-packs, because you'll see some more interesting ones. You'll see the Spyro 3-pack, the Crash 3-pack. EA has another one that has Sled Storm and like I think NASCAR Rumble's in that. So I think there's like a race. It's like either a racing focused one or extreme sports, arcade sports one.
No, that's not necessary.
I don't know if that camera's picking that up, but he's being very rude right now.
Spud. I'm calling you out.
To all the people that you're being very rude. Okay, anyway. Yeah, just weird little shelf piece for like $10. The EA Sports Collector's Edition. And we'll round out with one PS4 and some PS5. PS4, pretty much nothing. Like just basically getting all of the Far Cry games, even though I haven't really played them. Like under $5 for this. So Far Cry 4 doesn't do anything specifically that I have a huge interest in, but for under $5 you might as well. And we get some PS5. Actually 4 PS5 games, which is crazy to me. But they either do something that I'm really, really interested in, or I picked them up on Target clearance. So this, don't forget, I am a crazy person. I had actually already purchased this game in a version that I couldn't play because I wanted to pick it up on sale, but still prove that I was going to buy it. So EA Sports PGA Tour, which I don't know if they're going to do another one. 2K has figured out that doing every 2 years on the golf games is pretty reasonable. So there's going to be a 2K25 this year. But EA Sports Road to the Masters, they have the Masters license, so that's a big thing for them. They have all the licenses. Although I'm sure that if 2K has the PGA Tour license, then they have most of the licenses too. But this does have the Masters, and you read off the back: Masters, PGA, the Open, U.S. Open Players, FedEx Cup, and the LPGA. So I just I'll finally have the chance to actually play this and give it a try and compare it to the 2K one. It's crazy that I've said it like a bunch of times, but like crazy that the one sports game with competition nowadays is golf. You never would have expected that. This game here, El Paso Elsewhere. I think I got this on Woot for like $15. Very indie title, very unique. It's very Max Payne with like a comic book aesthetic. I'll just read off the back for this one because the plot is not something that stuck in my mind. I just thought it was very stylized and very cool looking. It's, somewhere in El Paso, Texas, a 3-story motel gained another 46 stories, all below ground. So yeah, this is going to get loud. Stakes, guns, slow-mo, destroy the villain you loved, and fight your way through a reality-shifting motel. All that sounds super cool, and the ratings and reviews are very good on this. So for $16... I think that was 15 or 16 bucks. Pretty good. Another very, very unique title that I had not caught my eye whatsoever, and then I started seeing a bunch of people start talking about it. This is Indika. This is, it's basically a walking sim. But even the, 20, 30 minutes that I've played of this, because I've not got a lot of time to do stuff that's not 64, the little bit of this, I can tell you, I've never really seen something like this. It's a walking sim, and you play a nun in a Russian convent. All of this doesn't sound like anything you'd want to get into. It would not make a good video game. But she has the literal devil talks to her in her mind. And the gameplay uses, lots of retro aesthetics and lots of retro sound effects to sort of play up the mundaneness of her life. And I there's a lot. I have not played more than 25 minutes of this, so there's a lot more that I need to see for myself. But people I've kept saying when I see them, the reviews, that there's really nothing like it that they've played, so immediately catches my interest on that. And then lastly, this was Target clearance for $6. Which is lower than I've paid for one of these in a while, but WWE 2K23 for the PS5, even if I just play the showcase mode as usual, which is John Cena this time. And actually, I did put this in. I played 2 of the showcase matches so far. And I do appreciate that the gimmick seems to be John picked matches that he's lost, his high-profile losses. So, I'm very interested, and I appreciate that about him, that he can say, if I always win, Cena wins, lol, then why could I fill an entire showcase mode with matches that I lost? So that's pretty interesting. It's also, the other thing that caught my eye is that this is the one where they introduced War Games, so a match type that I'd be very interested in trying. And as usual, there's a lot of features in this 2K. I've been seeing what they've been doing for 2K, the one coming out this year and last year. There's a ton of stuff all the time to do, which is really impressive, and I'm just glad at this point that the games don't suck like they did for 2K20 and weren't completely broken. So good for them. Good for what WWE's been doing in the Levesque era. And hopefully continue to see it represented in the games. And that's it. There's a bit more to this than there was the past couple months, but that's what happens when you have Target clearance and good deals, and wasn't even really waiting on pre-order this time. It's just stuff like that picked up here and there. I don't have a ton that I know I'm doing in the immediate future for the website. I'm sort of picking stuff at random throughout the week. I'm trying to do some of the Japanese ones to get footage for them. But I haven't taken any like major undertakings for like a big Japanese title like a Sin and Punishment or Custom Robo, something like that. The last one I put on the website, the last review, was Haiwa Pachinko World 64. It's not good. There's 2 other Pachinko games that I have to do. I don't know if they're better than the one that I just reviewed, but I don't think this is a good one. So you'll see that. I did Ocarina. That was what I did. It was a major undertaking. I did Ocarina, and there's hockey games with reviews on there. So I kind of got ahead of myself to do a big one. But I don't have anything specific planned out right now. Lots of stuff I could do, obviously. So thanks for watching. Check out the website. Keep up with that. And I'll talk to you later. See you next month.